All right, here we are. Once again, it is Hearthcenter kicking off THL Season 18. And apologies for no cams tonight. My camera decided not to work and we're having some technical difficulties, so we're rolling with pictures for today. But let's start off, as we always do, with some introductions. Starting off in the top left, it is our resident wild guru, the one and only Marty B. How you doing tonight, Marty?
I'm doing pretty solid, excited with the new nerfs. Still got to play in the standard meta, but I'm looking forward to it. I hear there's a lot of changes, and it's good to have the actual first release of the new expansion rather than the beta.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's hopefully going to be a lot better than all those lunacy on two things that we've been seeing recently. So excited to see what the new meta is going to bring for us for sure, and we will talk about that a little bit as well. Um, I, of course, am your host, Ron Mexico. I would be introducing Ducharmo next, but Ducharmo is going to be joining us a little bit late tonight. He's a little bit behind on time, so at some point, maybe later on in the call, we will have the return of Ducharmo. No scams here, I promise. He said he's going to join. But that brings us to the bottom right. It is the man with the best GIF in all of THL shows, Dr. Lotus Knight, repping the Gurgif. How you doing, Dr. Lotus Knight?
I'm doing great. I think today the celestial bodies aligned to give me a fun day to play Hearthstone and do my taxes. So I'm doing well here.
Awesome. Who doesn't love Hearthstone and taxes at the same time?
Yeah. And no, I was not playing Tax Bound. That's
Oh,
not happening.
nice. That
But
would have been kind of appropriate, but understandable. All
yeah.
right. So, at this stage, oftentimes, we'd go over our players of the week or other things, but this show will be a little bit different from every other show that you're going to see us do this season because the season is just starting and we don't quite have any players of the week or otherwise to cover. We do, however, have some interesting news with nerfs coming out. So let's get that one up on the screen. Our balance update for April 13th, 2021. A lot of changes here. A lot that's kind of already been discussed. But, Deck of Lunacy moving to 4. Sword of the Fallen losing a durability. Penflinger, dead card, right? No longer goes face. Jandis Barov, one more cost at 6 instead of 5. And the Watch Posts getting some health hits. 4-3 for the Far Watch and 5-4 for the Morshan Watch Post. Starting with you, Marty, what do you make of some of these changes here?
Man, it makes me so sad to see Far Watch Post go down to 3 health. It's just so easily removed now. I stand by this card not being one of the big problems. I think it's one of the most interesting cards to play around, and a lot of people just didn't have the time to learn it yet. I think at a 1/4, it isn't an auto include in everything, but it still has a powerful effect right now. It's just way too easy to remove. The same kind of goes with the Morshan Watch Post. I don't think this was as powerful as Far Watch Post. It didn't have as much utility, but it was stickier. I think at 2 attack, maybe it could have still seen some play in the future. I don't think it'll see nearly as much play now, if any, in the next 2 years. Deck of Lunacy just had to go to 4. That's fine. Sword of the Fallen, I think we can all agree this is a fair nerf. Jandis Barov, perfectly fine. I'm glad that they're not trying to nerf the card by making the 5-drop pool worse.
Yeah, let's just print some terrible 5 drops. No, no, no. Jandis is always the problem. It's definitely more appropriate at 6. I like that.
Yep. And finally, we can all say to Penflinger, hey, loser, you're dead now.
Yep.
Good
Bye,
riddance.
loser. Nice. What about you, Lotus?
Honestly, I think something that surprised me in these nerfs is how predictable they were.
Yeah.
Like literally anyone could have predicted this. There wasn't any card here that was a surprise. There wasn't like, oh, they decided to nerf Swindle because Swindle is a strong card, and instead of Jandis, the way they address Rogue is by that, or I don't know, instead of doing Penflinger, they do something else to Paladin, and they do something to Weapon Rogue, or they just say, Morshun isn't that problematic yet. It will be combo. We'll just do something else. Like this was a boring nerf, and you can say, yeah, it was correct, and yes, it has credit, but I think this was as boring as nerfs have ever been. That just everything is what you expect. So the meta is kind of going to remove that. It's going to be a new meta because the meta was only mage and paladin and some rogue, and
Yeah.
now it's not going to be. So we will have a fresh meta, but I don't think we'll have any surprises in the effects of the nerfs because they were just what everyone would suggest you to do.
True. I mean, maybe there were leaks a little bit, but still, it was pretty widespread that like exactly these changes were kind of anticipated. The one thing I can see maybe that might see more play post nerf would possibly be the Morshan watch post, just because the lunacy nerf on mage is so impactful that the anti-minion strategy with the Morshan watch post might not be hurt too much from the one health and could find its way in a little bit, but Far Watch Post looks brutalized to me. Penflinger, the main reason to run that card, has been removed. And Jandis is still good. It's still going to see play. Sword of the Fallen, still good. Still going to see play. Deck of Lunacy, maybe dead? We'll see.
I think it's dead just for the reason, and we were talking about this yesterday, but the main reason I see it is that card, you didn't actually want to play it against control decks like Control Warlock, Control Priest. You have enough burn to kill them. Yeah, you can high roll sometimes, but more important than that is to have Mask of Cthulhu and other cards, because Mask of Cthulhu is Control Warlock's biggest nightmare,
True.
not a randomly generated swarm of glowflies. So you use it to beat on aggro. And having a card that beats on aggro that maybe starts to give you value starting turn 5, I don't love that as much.
Yeah. I mean, we will see. Obviously, this is very fresh. There's a lot of time for the meta to shake out, but that's what we've got so far. But this being our recap show, let's move on to some recaps. We're going to start off with some THL off-season events. Let's get the duos up on the screen, and congratulations one more time to our duos tournament champion winners. Nails and Lumble. Looking at the bracket here, um, you know they made it through some scrub in round one, and then just kind of kept going. It was pretty impressive. A very strong victory. Really interesting to see how the other side of the bracket, Lefty and Kel, really I guess kind of defied all expectations and made it to number two, which is pretty awesome. But I'm gonna come right back to you here for this one, Lotus. Impressions on this duos tournament. That's
I
right, Clarity.
mean,
Scrubs plural is what I meant to say.
this was a really good tournament. I think a lot of it was just players bringing strong lineups, doing their best. You can see that a lot of the teams had really strong names in THL. I think the average level of this tournament was really high, and Nails played a great game. We faced him on round two, and it was a great match. There may have been a lunacy on one or two. I don't remember which of the two happened, but it was still a really good match.
Yeah,
I enjoyed playing against him. I look forward to play against him many, many times in THL still. So yeah, congratulations to Nails. I mean, he had rank one legend in NA and in Asia. So I don't even know what to say.
yeah, pretty impressive. Um, unfair almost. And what better timing could we possibly have than our very own Desharmo, kind of the brain behind the duos event, able to make it here and join us. Welcome, Desharmo. How's it going, man?
It's going. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, can hear you great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm doing great.
So talk to me a little bit about this duos event. Nails and Lumble taking it down.
Yeah. Sorry,
But it was
everybody.
exciting through and through.
everybody, and I'm late. It was all Ron's fault. So
My bad, guys. My bad.
that's how we do it on Hearthcenter. No, some real life stuff. But anyway, can you ask me that question one more time?
Yeah, just talk to me a little bit about the duos event, like some of the things behind the scenes for the planning of it, and just overall your impression. How did you think it went?
Yeah, I really like the way the tournament went. I was expecting a little bit more of some more players, but I was happy with the amount that we got. I think a lot of it had to do with the meta, and just the timing of it. We had just got done with the Octathon, but I really like the response to what we were doing here on the duos tournament. My point was for everybody to have fun, and everybody loves duos because they get to work with somebody, and play with them and kind of talk and bounce ideas off each other. It's just like a completely different experience when you're duos and with somebody than when you're like doing a solo kind of run. So and we had planned this a long time, a while ago. It was before the last season had even ended, and we were kind of really waiting for the right time to announce this, to not really bombard the THL with too much information. So, but really impressive nails and his partner, just
As
top
I
player there.
understand it, a late entry too. They were always planning on joining,
Yeah,
but they joined. They actually like registered and joined like 5 minutes
yeah.
before the event
Yep,
started.
it was 15 people, and then I was like, whoa, 16 would be nice so there's no buys. And literally, I looked at 16 people. I was like, whoa,
Yep,
Nails and Lumble joined,
you love to see it.
and then they go and they squish you in the first round. So
Yeah, yeah, that was fun. We may have made a couple of mistakes there, but these things happen, and Nails and Lumble
yeah,
exploited it on their way to a pretty impressive victory. So very well earned and exciting to see. Was that number two or number three? I think that was officially like the third duos, right?
I think it's the third one, and if THL likes these, we'll keep doing them. We'll keep doing more of these if people want them.
Absolutely. I think it's always fun. Hopefully, we get some more. Before we move on to Octathlon, our next recap, Marty B, any other things to add on the duos tournament?
So I didn't have anything to add for the duos tournament, but this was announced about 45 minutes ago. If anyone missed it, in reference to the nerfs, there's an extra card that they're giving full disenchant value for later this week in a hotfix. That's Kargal Battlescar, the 7 mana legendary that summons a 5/5 for every watch post you summon this game. So make sure to disenchant that later this week.
Oh yeah. I forgot that we should have mentioned that on the nerf screen. Thank you for bringing that up. So definitely make
Green.
sure, guys. Kargal, he gets impacted by those watch post nerfs, so Blizzard is going to give you the full dust refund. Just wait for that to happen and get a little bit more dust.
Don't worry, Deshaun. I got you covered. I basically said everything we discussed in team chat for bro.
Okay, yeah, and I
Nice.
think all three of us are in that chat. So
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
All right,
just
so
not
with
my.
that, let's move on over to our recap of one of THL's more ambitious off-season events in the Octathlon. Get that one up on the screen here, and there is a lot to cover for this one. Um, we had 8 events, and 2 are still ongoing, but we have victors for the rest. We're going to start off listing Conquest. You can see it up on the screen. These are your finalists for Conquest, the winners. We have Lolnenko taking his second gold, the other one coming in Battleground Series, to just be an absolutely dominant force for no pros here. Yours truly fell short against Lolnenko in the final, taking the silver for 10 Wu Tang Clan. And You Kidding Me against Nails would be the third place match, but it has not been played as of at least taking the screenshot, but as far as I know, they haven't played this one yet. I'm going to start with you, Marty, back on Conquest, because I want to come to Lotus for last hero standing. You'll find out why soon. Marty, talk to me about the conquest here.
Yeah. So we talked about this a bit last week. Ron, we mentioned how excellent you were doing in this tournament, actually. And it's really good to see that you made the finals. That's insane to think about. Just playing with all these top players all the time and getting as far as you did, it's no small feat. So congratulations to you, and that's a huge win for Ten Wu Tang Clan. Unfortunately, Lolnenko got his second gold. I think he's probably the MVP of Octathlon with 2 gold medals, right?
Absolutely. Nobody else came close. Lolnenko was invincible, it seemed, in Octathlon. Hey, it's kind of my thing. If you watch the awards show recently, I'm staying on brand by getting second place. But congrats to Lolnenko. And you kidding me versus Nails. Hopefully they wind up playing a match soon. We'd like to see maybe who gets the bronze, although I don't think it makes any difference for overall standings, at least as far as this match is concerned,
I
for the
don't
for the
believe
teams.
so.
But there you have it. That is Conquest. Let's move on next to the last hero standing portion, and it is our very own Hearthcenter's own Lotus Knight taking down the gold in this one here. Lotus, talk to me about this portion of Octathlon. How did this one go? Oh man, my my screenshot is out of date.
Yeah, we played today in the morning, right before nerfs, because I don't know. I built my lineups for pre-nerfs, so I feel like I should play before it if possible.
There we
This
go.
was a
Now it's
really
up to
good.
date.
Astro Frog is a really good player. We had some great time. I think honestly, Shaman was the key to my lineup the whole time. My Shaman was doing so well. I don't know how. It was even banned one match because it lined up super well against my opponent's lineup. I hope that this is the meta where Shaman's back because Shaman's fun to play sometimes. Sometimes, not evolved, not that thing called evolved that no one likes. But honestly, I had a lot of fun playing these decks and just getting a tournament like these. Even if I had submitted my decks 36 hours into a new meta, it was just fun.
Yeah, a very unique challenge with Octathlon, just having to submit decks so early into the new meta. Not everybody really had the best idea of what was going to work and what wasn't going to work, but definitely paid off for you here. And congratulations on the gold. Taking down 4 points for full dust value. Astral Frog coming in with a 2-pointer for Octosari. And we've got a similar thing going on in the LHS portion here with Ufric and Robocats yet to play the third place match, but we may have a some third place winner of that singular point for their team to close out if they wind up playing. Hopefully, we'll find out soon. With that, let's move on to Classic. Let's get these ones up on the screen here for Classic. Hold up, we gotta hide this LHS too. For Classic, uh, it was interesting. We had a field of some Hearthstone OGs from THL, but it was more the new school that took it down. CMAC with the victory. Corridon coming in second, and German Shep and Markshire in that third place match, yet to play, of course. Desharmo, talk to me about this one here. I don't know if you had a chance to follow much of Classic, but this is also a pretty exciting one. And interesting to see, kind of the newer school of THL lately come in instead of, our old stalwarts. I think Slimsh was in this one, was an odds-on favorite, but I don't even see him in the Final Four.
Yeah, yeah. You look at some of the names here, like Markshire and CMAC. They've been around for I don't know how long, longer than me. They've been, and I've been here for a while as well. So, it's good to see CMAC get someone. The old school. I kind of fit into that old school kind of mentality, because that's where my group is. And I'm getting older too. I'm starting to feel like a boomer. I'm like one of the oldest people here in the THL. I'm not the oldest, there's a lot older people, but every time I hang out with my group of friends, I'm always the oldest. I'm giving it. I'm glad C-Mac got the win there, and Kuroden, he's been around too, and I'm really impressed with his play. He is he's not a one seed player. He's like a four seed, right? A 4 seed player, 3 seed player. So for him to come in and be able to get to the finals and even beat Markshire, who's really good and has done really well in pro in the recent years. So that kind of shows Kuroden is such a great great player. Great.
True, yeah. I guess Markshire is the one major representative from the oldest days of THL there. I think
Yeah.
he won championship in like THL season 2 or something. So
Yeah.
basically kind of around the time that the classic meta was actually just the only meta there was. So interesting to see,
Yeah.
Markshire still make it that far and still has a shot at the third
Yes.
place as well.
And Markshire is still young too, so he's still
Yeah,
younger than
Hearthstone
me.
time seems to work a
Yeah.
lot differently than
Yeah.
just regular time.
Yeah.
I don't know, being in THL for, multiple seasons, you
Yeah.
look back and sometimes think it's years, but it's really just
Yeah.
months. It just flies
Well,
by.
and sometimes I think you've even said it before. You're like, man, I can't last year, and you're like, no, it was just last season.
Yeah,
That was like 3 months ago. What are you talking about last year?
yeah. I mean, just to complicate things further, we have a
Yeah.
pandemic going on and time is an illusion and all that fun stuff. But yeah, apparently it hasn't been that long. It just feels like it.
Yeah.
But that is our classic winners for you. Congratulations to CMAC, Tonka Thlon. I maybe that I guess that's my best shot at pronouncing their name right. Tonktithlon. That's probably what it is. Tonktithlon getting the 4-pointer there. Corridon coming up with 2 points for K Octagon, and remains to be seen that final point if it will go to German Shepherd Markshire. As we move on next, let's get Specialist up on the screen. So Specialist, kind of a little bit more of a maligned um, well, hold on. Let's hide CMAC. CMAC did not win Specialist. Here we go. More of a maligned, like, I guess, format for Hearthstone. We have our winner for Specialist is Hickett from the Crystal Gems, followed by Isocles from K Octagon, and in third place was actually a match between Octosari and Octosari. Totino's Pizza was able to get a victory over Based, both teammates, for that third place match. So finally, in one of these events at least, we have our full gold, silver, and bronze. Let's come back to Marty B for this one. For Specialist, this was just a whole lot of Paladin, honestly. Isocles, I think, was like the lone mage that made it all the way to the end, but it was really just Paladin everywhere.
Yeah, all the paladins really doesn't come as any surprise to anyone. I think paladin was just far and ahead the best class in the game for quite a while. Sporting just a casual 57% win rate at all ranks on HS replay for a while.
Yeah.
But really, Isocles getting as far as he did with Mage is super impressive. Even though, you had to give a few of those games to Deck of Lunacy, regardless, breaking the mold, bringing something different, and succeeding with it is always good to see. Now, with that said, I'm really glad we had nerfs because we don't have to deal with this kind of meta anymore. I wasn't looking forward to all the paladin with a sprinkling of mage throughout.
Yeah, I actually entered into this event and I brought myself a demon hunter. I was the only demon hunter in the field, and I immediately regretted that decision. I got knocked out instantly, and I was like, "Yep, that might have been a mistake." Paladins everywhere. Paladin took it down. Isocles was the last mage standing. As he's saying in chat, Base can tell you about lunacy and the things that Isocles did to punch his ticket to the final match. But Hickett coming out on top in a 2-0. getting that 4 points for the Crystal Gems. Isocles 2 as the leader of his team for K Octagon, and Totino's Pizza providing that 1 pointer for Octasari. Um, may we never speak of Specialist again as we move on to the
Yeah,
next.
You just don't like specialists because tuna, brushy tuna was really good at it, and you weren't.
No, no, no. You're talking about Shielded Conquest.
Oh, that's right. He
And
was
I
good
was
at shield.
actually the runner-up rookie of the season to Tuna.
That's right.
I'll
That's
have you
right.
know. But
about
hey, dead
Shield.
format, living in the past. Quit living in the past. We're moving on. As we move on, next we have Speedstone. Um, so Lotus Knight, I know you are very familiar with the winner of Speedstone, obviously taking down the victory here. I thought I had that screenshot updated too. Let me double check it. But of course, obviously taking the victory, Agent PWE getting the second place, and Valdis versus Snake, another one yet to be played. Talk to me about this one, Lotus.
Sure, this is the one format you're not going to face Spell Mage. So Avi is a very fast player, and this is coming from someone who does also play pretty fast. So Avi kind of did his thing. He wins a lot, and he won Speedstone, bringing more points for Tontathlon, however you say it. I do not know how to pronounce this, which is awesome. I know he said he went out from Snake by just a very small margin, and that does happen in this kind of format. Like, I almost lost to the Chronic so hard. So it's yeah. Congratulations to Avi though. Just keeping it fast and gotta go fast and keep it winning.
Yeah, I mean, no surprise, honestly, to see Avi win anything that he enters. For for those of you who don't know, obviously is the only three-time winner of THL's crossover player of the season, and he actually did it in back-to-back-to-back seasons. He's in THL's Hall of Fame. He's got multiple MVPs across Series 2, as I recall, and just a very strong player that likes to play fast. What better format than Speedstone? This is a cool one, and I hope we see a little bit more of this in the future. Just put Nas in your deck and play fast games. It sounds fun. Nobody on ladder seems to actually do it though, much to the chagrin of Ben Heathstone, Ben Hearthstone, who, if anyone, if you follow him on Twitter, is always just sad that no one's playing Speedstone with him on ladder.
There was a suggestion somewhere that when someone has Nozdormu in their deck, at the start of the game, on their or on their opponent's first turn, they should ask whether the opponent wants to play a game of Speedstone or play normally.
Oh yeah, that would be such a cool little adjustment. Like you still take the, I guess, quasi downside of having a 7 mana 8/8 in your deck taking up one of your card slots, but just offering someone the choice, I'm sure we'd get a ton more Speedstone games. That would be pretty sweet. Hopefully they listen to the suggestion. But with that, let's move on from Speedstone. Again, one more congratulations. Obviously, getting the 4 points for Tontathlon. Agent PWE continuing the absolute dominance of no pros here in our Octathlon event, getting 2 points for them. And Valdis versus Snake still up in the air as to whether or not they will be able to bring home that 1 point for their teams. Let's hide these ones and move on to Battlegrounds, which we did actually cover already last week. There isn't any new information here, just to, again, kind of throw it out there for a recap. Our winners, Lolnenko, the double gold finisher himself for no pros here. Total of 8 points just from Lolnenko alone for no pros here, which is insane. I think he did better on his own than every team in the entire Octathlon except for Tonk. I think F2L has a chance to tie Lolnenko's total output. just absolutely absurd. Rabobson, of course, picking up the silver medal in this one with the 2 points for F2L Azure. And your Mumkhead, it's more no pros here. Just getting that one extra point for no pros here in the third place. And not too much to say about this one that we haven't already mentioned, of course, in last week's show. So with that, we will just move straight on over to the wild portion. Um, and Marty, I'll have you kind of run me through this one, but we don't have any champs yet. We just have a final match yet to be played and a third place lined up.
Yeah, so 6J being on F2L, I can actually talk a bit to this. He was speaking with Hazer before the match, and Hazer was asking, "Hey, I'm facing this scrub. What do you think I should ban?" And 6J told him, "You know, if I were you, I'd ban the Pirate Warrior because it has Rokara, and Rokara snowballs really fast. Next thing you know, you're dead before turn 5." And not only did he sweep, he did exactly that with Pirate Warrior, which I find hilarious because Hazer didn't ban it. But yeah, Bill Snyder brought a pretty unconventional super anti-burn lineup. I wouldn't call it anti-aggro. There's just a ton of healing in there to stop all the burn because in Wild, when it comes to aggressive decks, the ones that don't rely on burn can very easily still snowball and use their board to take you down despite you healing back to full however many times. So his decks are specifically teched for burn. 6J is bringing a more conventional lineup, I'd say, with stuff like Mozaki Mage and Tax Paladin. Yeah, Bill
Makes
with the
sense.
no Reno Mage. Yeah. Yeah,
It's,
that's why there's a
it's
lot
an
of
unconventional move, but who are we to question Bill Snyder's second place
gonna
and
say
possible
that,
first
but now
place
it's
here?
out in the chat. I didn't want to go that far. But with that said, it'll be a close match. Congrats to both of these players. For the third place match, it's going to be also just as competitive. Hazer versus MMW both brought really good lineups, in my opinion, and it should be very close as well. And yeah, it's just exciting times. Hopefully, we can get one of these streamed, maybe. So
Yeah, here's hoping. I mean, we're kind of moving into the actual season of THL at this point, but there's still a little bit of time, and ideally we could wrap up these matches and maybe get another Octathlon final on stream. We're always here for that. Fingers crossed. As we move on from Wild, we have one final event to cover, and that is Strike. Same situation here where we do not have um, any results yet. We actually don't even have a second place match lined up. But Desharmo, can you talk to me a little bit about what we've seen from Strike so far and maybe what we might be expecting here? This is your Mumkhead in the final again, another no pros here representative. So that's minimum 2 more points for no pros here, which pretty much puts like a stranglehold on their chances at winning all of Octathlon for points. But there's still a shot for Tonk to make it up, not necessarily in this match, but just overall, there can still be a tie. What are we looking at here, though, in this final bracket?
I'm so sorry, I was muted again. But
Oh, it happens. Desharmo's
Yeah,
muted right now.
I'm not
oh,
muted anymore. It's me.
okay, okay. I
Oh,
wasn't
well,
sure.
you're gonna. Yeah, okay. We're good. We're good. No. So I really like. I mean, I think I saw German in one of the other uh, Final Four recently, and
Yeah,
was
German Shep is an extremely good player, for sure.
yeah. So I mean, props on him for being able to make top four multiple times, and even here he has a chance to still get to the finals. But you see some really good players on this top four. Like nobody up here, I think, um, is somebody that I would not expect to maybe go top four. But strike is one of those things where you have to be really smart about which matchups you're going to ban, and you kind of have to think ahead. It's not one of those things where you're gonna You're just gonna kind of go in it willy nilly and just hope. You got to really plan ahead. So I know our mom kid is somebody who's been really good. I've been playing on Dad Legend with him now for my second season, and he's just a really good player. So I'm glad to see him get in the finals. And then I'm looking at this second to just see how this goes. I hope this match gets streamed somewhere because it seems going to be like really nice match between FMB2 or Reggie, right?
Yeah,
And
the man of many names,
yeah,
also
I
known
was
as
going to say that.
Valera and Zarella lately, is the new name for
Yes.
FBM2. Interestingly enough, representing his team as the captain of the team, and with the opportunity to run like the full range of point totals here, there's a possibility FBM2 Zarella loses this match and loses the third place match and gets 0 points, which would close out Zarella's desperate prayer, the team, with 0 points for Octathlon. There's also a chance of double wins, which would be 4 points for the team.
Yeah.
So a pretty wide range of possible results and should be interesting to watch. But that is all of the events that we have for Octathlon. As we hide these, just to briefly bring it up again, the way that the standings look right now, we don't have them up on the screen because they can't really be reported yet with a lot of the third place matches not being played. But what we do know, No Pros here has locked up 13 minimum points and 15 maximum. And the only team that could possibly match them is Tonktithlon with 10 points minimum right now and 13 maximum. So there is an outcome where we could have two 13-point teams, and I don't know how Donde makes tiebreakers other than possibly flipping a coin or jumping into Wild and see how many witchy lackeys he gets for an over/under or something. But that those are basically your only contenders at this point for winning the event overall. Um, Probably a preemptive congratulations to No Pros here. F2L is likely the second place or the third place finisher here with 4 points minimum and 8 max. We've got a lot of 4 point teams in full dust value. The Crystal Gyms, K Octagon. Octosari comes in at 3 points, 10 Wu Tang Clan at 2. Milo's Menagerie right now has only 1 point, but they can actually max out at 7. So it's possible they're our third place finisher. Then we have Zarella's, as we mentioned, 0 to 4. Wash You Octo Bears coming in at 0 to 3, and Wheat Wheat Faux Diamant, if I'm saying that right. Why you got to make it hard on me, Diamond? 0 points
Actually,
minimum, 1 maximum point.
I don't
And
think you say the T. I think it's just we for Diamant. If
I
my
will
French is still.
I will take your word for it over my brief stint in high school French from a decade ago or something, a millennium ago. We'll call it
While since I spoke French,
that.
but yeah,
Yeah. Why not make Lotus say it? You're right. Absolutely should make Lotus say it. But that is Octathlon as it stands for you for now. We may have one final recap in next week's show as the final matches trickle in. But with that, we are about to jump into Battlegrounds. Before we do, though, let's switch back on over to our caster screen because it is time, as always, for our rapid fire commercial, which I might actually have to remember off the top of my head because I haven't pulled up the show notes. Unless I could just pull it
improvise.
up real
I
quick.
gotta get you guys another picture because that picture is old. That little baby I'm holding in my arm is no longer a baby anymore.
Yeah, I
he's,
mean, that's
he's a
funny.
toddler running around right
I mean,
now.
honestly, I was kind of planning on doing cams, but cams kind of got all weird
Yeah.
on me today, so we just had to go with the pictures. But if we do go pictures again, it'll be interesting to see, the progression in baby growth. But all right, let's jump into the commercial, and then we'll get back into battleground stuff. So here we go. Hey there, Twitch viewers. Have you subscribed to Team Hard Legends yet? No? Then make today the day to be a legend yourself and subscribe to our channel. This subscription enables the THL team to help cover the various costs of operating our website, as well as improve the quality of our streams and content to our viewers. If you have Amazon Prime or Twitch Prime, you can actually subscribe to this channel for free. Subscribers will go to THL Emoticon as well as the lovely THL chat badge. So hit that heart button and keep the notifications on to make sure you catch our team broadcasting live. We appreciate each and every one of you. Special note to our viewers, check out THL's other social media points of interest, our website, teamheartlegends.com. Follow us on Twitter at THL_HS. Join us in Discord, Team Heart Legends. Check out the THL POW podcast for power rankings for all series wherever you find your podcasts. The true Heart Legend himself, Saku, continues to post all of our videos on our YouTube channel. Just search Team Hearth Legends to catch everything previously recorded. You're, of course, watching us live on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Team Hearth Legends, or possibly on our YouTube channel in the future. And for all you THL fanatics out there, that's right, it's season time again. We're back with THL shows every single day of the week. You can't go wrong tuning in at any time for some amazing Hearthstone-related content. Now back to the good part, which in this case would be Battlegrounds. Let's get it up on the screen here. So, Battlegrounds, we have our season is currently underway. This was week 4. And we have our green lobby starting off. Bob's Bouncers, Concede Your Match, F2L Silver, and Lil Rags Raiders. Blue lobby of Bob's Babes, Bob's Bounty Hunters, Friends of Bob, the Bob lobby apparently, and Phantom Force breaking the trend. And finally, our red lobby with Fish and Chirrups, Lemurs, Murgle Buse, and the U Ottawa GGs. Let's start off here. Marty, can you talk to me about the green lobby splits?
Well, I don't know a ton about BGs, but I'll do my best. So, Yockster and your mom kid did really well here. Yockster with a 1-3 split in the lobbies. Your mom kid finishing second twice. Just insane amounts of points for both of them. Skittles had a rough time at first, but turned it around in the second lobby with a first place finish. Next up, we have a bunch of people around the same. Lolnenko, uh, Lemur, and Blue Sombrero finishing middle of the pack between third and sixth overall. Blue Sombrero in particular finishing fifth both times in both lobbies. And finally, Ligorian, it's me, Mike V, having rough times overall, I'd say. Ligorian started with a fourth place finish in the first BG's lobby, but then finished seventh. And it's me, Mike V, finishing seventh and then finally eighth. A bit unfortunate, but I would expect them to turn it around in the later weeks.
Awesome. Yeah, and for the B split for the Green Lobby, we had Agent PWE just kind of really continuing the dominance for NPH that we've seen. The NPH crew, I should say. It's Concede Your Match, but it's like NPH in disguise. As it's Agent PWE taking a second and a first. Unbelievably impressive performance here, with the letter W coming in with a first, and in Lobby 2, that sixth might have been a whole lot better, but he got knocked out by his teammate, Agent PWE, to get that sixth, on PWE's way to the first finish in the second lobby. Reverb coming in with a double third, Corridon with a fifth and a second. We had Phoenix with a fourth and an eighth. Nice Jewish Owl flipping that with an eighth and a fourth. Cole's coming in with a sixth and a fifth, and Wash in the Wind with double sevenths. As we can see, the Green Lobby fairly competitive this time around, but we've got some that are once again kind of separating themselves from the pack. As we move on next, let's review our blue lobby splits, and we're going to start off with the A split. Lotus Knight, I know you don't do a whole lot of BGs yourself either, but can you run me through this one?
Sure. I was in red lobby, supposed to be in red lobby, but I had some internet issues and I couldn't play then. Blue lobby. This was a lobby A had some strong players. Tris, Steffi, Bill Snyder. These are players who have done pretty well in battlegrounds, and Andrasti as well. Just to speak about some. And the second day had Pocky, Fire Emblem, Swebe. these players kept doing well. Turns out players who are winning tend to keep winning. And we saw this in this lobby. Triz getting a double one is so insane. Well, which means lemurs just keep extending their strength. But more importantly, for this lobby, Bob's Babes and Bob's Bounty Hunters are still in pretty strong contention.
Yeah, I'm stunned by the double first from Triss here. That is just kind of unbelievable. Um, really impressive performance, and really strong players in this lobby too. Andrasti and Jumpfloat are members of the defending champions in Bob's Bounty Hunters, so definitely some stiff competition. And Triss rising above the pack in that B split. I'm pretty surprised by Haba Bear coming in with eighth and sixth, but I guess you can't, dominate every single time. She'll have to console herself with her like what I think multi-dollar prize for some recent BG's tournament she just won. I think it was in the thousands. So very strong player there. I'm sure she will bounce back in no time. Um,
Oh,
and yeah, that there you have it. The B split, some surprises, but strong players throughout. So move on
yes.
finally to our red lobby. And last up, I'll come to you, Desharmo, with
Are you
the
throwing me under the bus now? My turn.
exactly.
I'm
We've
kidding.
got, the Lemurs players, Mr. Incredible and BV Bat kind of leading off with massive amounts for the A split. And of course, Lee and the B split leading the way too. But talk to me about this lobby a little bit.
Yeah, you could just see just from the stats here who the strong players are. I mean, I just up there, Mr. Incredible, just double first place, just like Triss. It's just really hard to do, especially when in BGs. I don't play BGs competitively like these people do, but I know it's hard because you sometimes you just offered four terrible heroes and there's nothing you can do, and sometimes it feels hopeless. And then if either he's got really lucky or he just knows his stuff, and I'm going with he probably knows his stuff. Just knows how to eke out games and
Yeah.
and winning. But you look at the split B split there. Lee, really strong player, picking up the one and the two and the one, and then Super Chicken picking up the one and the four. So top fours for both of those players. Then you look at the top of the A split, you got the same thing. The Mr. Incredible picking up one and two, and then VB Vat picking up four and three. So really strong, I think, on the top end here. And then you kind of got a mix from everybody else down below that. It's kind of just there. You know what I mean? Just kind of floating around from 3 to 8. So I think in these lobbies, I think for those players on those teams, to try to up their game for to beat those players that are up at the top two.
Yeah, like you have your dominant teams. Obviously, nobody is surprised that Lemurs is leading the standings. It is a team comprised of, I think, every single one of their players is in the top 20 right now for the leaderboard for Battlegrounds in
Mm-hmm.
MMR. So yeah, they're kind of good, but
Yeah.
it's a long season, and all you really have to do is make it into the playoffs and then, spike a couple strong lobbies in the playoffs. And every point matters here. So important to see these other players coming in and finding their spots where they can to pick up those points. I got to apologize to Lemurs that I intended to have the team logo up on the screen for this week, and it slipped my mind. So,
Same excuse everyone.
opportunity for Concede Your Match and Bob's Bounty Hunters, who are the closest. You can steal their spot and get your logo in there next week if you get a few more points. And Lemurs, just don't drop the ball. Just keep doing great, and I'll have your logo in the recap for next week. But that is your week that was Battlegrounds for week 4. Any last things we want to say about Battlegrounds before we move on to
Yeah, I'll
our season?
give Dr. Feast some props for that third place. So you got in the lobby 2.
Yeah,
Good job.
pretty solid.
Impressive. Now just do that more than once, and you'll be good.
I
Right.
mean, he was actually subbing for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Lotus
That's
just
really
didn't
good.
want to play against the lemurs. It's okay.
Oh, well, I wanted to play. My internet didn't want me to play.
Right,
So
right. That's
it
fair.
just
It's always the internet.
I like it.
That's what my students
tried.
tell me. That's what my students tell me at school. Sir, the internet's going out, and I'm like, sure, the internet's going out.
I don't know what happened. Xfinity's not working again. Something like that. Which I mean, I had Xfinity for a while, and I would believe that. But, but let's move on then. Our final segments, of course, the seasons themselves are just about to start, so we don't have any recaps to cover for you just yet for the actual matches that are being played. We're going to leave the preview stuff to the vicinity of Tavern Talk, our preview show. But let's get Hero up on the screen for our season in review. I'm going to start here. Let's go right back to Desharmo, who I know you've done quite well for yourself throughout Hero series and established a name for yourself. If you can, run me through our awards for the Hero series season. I believe it was 14, season 14 of Hero.
Yeah. BGH Scritch. I got to see the there, but that was pretty
Oh yeah,
nice.
the best new team. I just put the logo there, which is Tonk if
Yeah,
you're
that's
corny.
good. Yeah, best new team, Tonk if you're corny. Obviously, they won the championship, so can't really
Yeah,
get more best
no
than
big
that.
surprise. Brand new
Yeah.
team enters the season and wins the title. Yeah, they usually win best new team.
Best captain Sage. Unfortunately, their team went out in the first round, Ron. And rookie of the season, RoboCats. Yeah, definitely. Just destroying 5 seeds. The destroyer of 5 seeds there. Comeback player Risen. Risen had a couple rough seasons and came back and was a strong player. And then Mr. Python going 8-0 until he got to the playoffs.
True, but undefeated regular season. The awards, of course, do recognize the regular seasons, not the playoffs. And Mr. Python with an incredible season, totally undefeated. I've never heard of going undefeated and not winning MVP. Chat, I don't know what you're talking about. You don't need to spam rigged or anything. But there you have it. Tonk if you're corny, taking down the championship in style. Big win over Dabon with that 12-3 victory. And this is not going to be the first time that we see RoboCat's name pop up in these, uh, in these awards sections for last season.
Yeah,
Very excited to see what next season of Hero brings for us, though.
and Tonk squashing. They played my team in December. They squashed us, and now they came into the finals and squashed as well. 2 players didn't even play their games. That's how well they did.
Bad about that. I prepared the whole stream for Sunday, and then they decided on Thursday. It's like, just don't do that to me again.
Right? Poor Lotus was in shambles. Every series was wrapping up way before
So bad.
the end of the streams. I know.
Yeah, as part of the content team, I do want to say, make your series last 5 games. Think of me. Think of Saku. You want to just always your series should last 5 games. It's
Come
just a
on,
thing that we.
come on, just in time. You needed to throw your match. All right,
Yeah,
just
Yeah,
make it
exactly.
3-2 to make it look like. No, don't
This
do
yeah.
that. Don't do
this
that.
this
Don't do that.
series was if I recall, this series was all about Vol'jin. Vol'jin
Yeah.
was just coming through like crazy for Tonk. So the new expansion incoming with one new card, and it made a big difference for Tonk there. Let's move on next to our wild season in review. As I turn it over to our beloved wild guru, Marty B. Marty, I'm going to twist the knife one more time and make you talk about Everyone's a Winner versus
Hurts.
F2L Viridian.
Well, I will mention this is another example of how an undefeated player can miss MVP.
True.
He missed
Didn't
Yeah,
even get rookie of the season either. Lost to his teammate Battle Tagger. We've got 11 and 0. Now I know it doesn't take into account the playoffs, so it was 9 and 0 regular season, I believe, 6J, but still came in as runner up on rookie of the season and not even runner up on MVP. Got to be rigged. Blame Donde.
yeah, it's all Donde's fault. But really, these guys have just been dominant all last season, and they're coming back this season too. Just same team rolling it back. So super exciting for us. Itachi's actually stepping down, and we're gonna have Get Me Out to take his place. But it'll be exciting to see if both our teams can come back in the finals once again and duke it out once more. As for the awards, best captain going to Absolute. Really good to see. He's actually stepping down from his captain role this season, and Sunday will be taking his place for Everyone's a Winner. Rookie of the season, we already discussed. Comeback player is NAGM Rami, who actually is stepping away from this season due to other commitments and being too busy. But he is probably, if Blizzard were to do anything for with their GMs for the Wild format, he would be one of the top players just from what I've heard from him in terms of the card pool and understanding the meta and Wild formats.
Oh, absolutely. I can see that.
Yeah, and finally MVP Corvette. What is there to say that hasn't been said about Corb? Like, Australian man plays good Hearthstone and is constantly asked to take your shirt off on stream. Um, yeah,
Fantastic.
like he's just good. So hats off to him, and looking forward to playing with him again this season instead of against him.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's very interesting I find about this too is this is the second straight occurrence of our best new team also being the winner of the championship of the season, and that will continue for Legacy as well. So we had a lot of brand new teams joining THL in multiple series, and they just took down the whole thing. So let's move on to Legacy, where we see that same thing repeat. Um, it was Foolish Madmen, and this was the season of Foolish Madmen, basically, as they did not lose at all through the entire season. Lotus Knight, talk to me about the season in review, the season that was Legacy Series Season 17.
Sure. I mean, the way I would summarize the last DHL season was everybody got to be a winner, but F2L, especially so Foolish Madman just came in so hot. They didn't lose at all. They went 10-0, and that was such an insane run. Diamond made a crazy team that he was playing in, which usually is not a thing Diamond does. But Dardar, always just in time, automated button, and Jimbo got to just crush Legacy as a whole. At least this match went for a really cool finals between. I even forget now which was the finals match. I believe it was Dardar versus Bobson,
Yes, it
which
was
was
Dardar
played
versus Rubobson.
but just an insane team. Foolish Madman obviously won best new team because yeah. Diamond won best captain, undeserved, horrible captain. Do not play with him ever. For life. MVP Robocats because Robocats should not be a 5 seed. It's just there's no reason why Robocats should be a 5 seed. Same for rookie of the season, Robocats, who shouldn't be a 5 seed. Dr. Fish with a very, very, very deserved comeback player. Fish is insane and is way better than his PR indicates. And Debs as the big game hunter. Um, Dabs alt account doing a good job.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, what what was interesting too, MVP pour one out for Torito too, who also pulled off an undefeated season in the regular season, but just couldn't overcome a 4-0 and 12-0 game score from RoboCats. RoboCats showed up as a sub, played the minimum amount of number of games to be eligible for the MVP, but actually never lost any Hearthstone match that he played in the Legacy series, which was completely absurd. We had just a whole lot of winning going on in the Legacy series between Foolish Madmen never losing, RoboCats never losing, um, and definitely big congratulations to all these teams. One final time as we look back.
And one thing I just want to point out, RoboCat is the only person I've ever heard come to the board and say, "Hey, can you please increase my PR because I feel really bad."
That's
So,
hilarious. Yeah.
so yeah, so you got to give somebody props for doing that, you know.
Hey, also
Yeah.
a big thank you to a new follower and cheering some bits, Hearth Raven. I don't know how you wound up finding our stream, but definitely make sure you check out, the Team Hearth Legends website and Discord for more information if you are interested in cracking into this, and we very much appreciate the support. Any last things to say on Legacy before we move to our final segment for this week, the Pro Season in Review?
think
I'm gonna take that as a no.
we move to pro, the better for me. So
So here we are, our season in review, Pro Series, and we had finally, out of all the four series that we covered here in review, um, there was a best new team that was different from the winner of the championship. And it almost happened anyway because the best new team made it to the championship. And maybe the only reason our best new team wasn't the winner was because this team won best new team last season, and that is For the Boys taking it down in thrilling fashion. An amazing season, going 11-1, taking a 12-1 victory. That's right, Super Chicken. The match between you and Wet Goose never happened. It wasn't reported, not in the screenshot, must not have happened. So 12-1 is the score. And best new team went to Popeye's spicy chicken sandwiches. Best captain, Diamond once again showing up in there, captained in two series and got best captain in both. Rookie of the season, another undefeated player. Something that we don't see all that often and always cause to be celebrated. Flamekiller did not lose a match in pro, which is just an unbelievable feat to me. Comeback player was Nails, and MVP, who else? Also Flamekiller, taking down the Rookie of the Season and MVP in pretty dominant fashion there. So
So
there you have it. That is our review. What did you guys think of Pro last season?
Well, I was gonna say there's two names that stick out to me in the entirety of last season, and if you count all of the series, Diamond and Always Just in Time. Both of them winning two championships. It's just ludicrous. You know, I have one championship out of my entirety of THL, and then both of those guys won two in one season.
Yep.
you know, it's funny you say that because this is kind of hurt with each single series twisting the knife a little bit more outside of Hero. Because I was on the losing side for Wild and Legacy, and then after the F2L guys dropped in Pro, I hit up my Anodon and asked if he wanted some help with prep for his team because they had
Oh
spreadsheets.
no.
And then Popeyes lost. So yeah, yeah, I've been on the receiving end
yeah,
of that for the most part. Fun times.
I hear you, Marty, but
sometimes.
fortunately, there's always next season, which happens to have just started. So we are really excited to be bringing you our recaps of all THL action that's going to be going on as of, well, starting this week, and we'll be recapping it, of course, next Tuesday. Lotus, did you have something to say about this?
Um, I mean, I just want to say what I say every single time, but as the new season starts, remember, Stream is always looking for matches. So if you would like to play on Stream, DM me, DM Sako, DM Donde. We're happy to help you find a time. If you DM the wrong person, we'll just direct you or we'll message that person ourselves. So come to us and we'll make sure your match is streamed if that's what you're looking to have.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well, that sounds like the
it's
magic
always a good
words to
time.
go back onto the caster screen as we wrap up our show. Um, But we're gonna of course have a lot more segments and different things to cover for you as THL season gets fully underway in all of our other series. For now, we are gonna move it on over to our final words on the night. Lotus, I don't know if you're gonna try to come up with something different for final words, or we might just hear you repeat that. Either way, I'm
Don't
down.
worry,
But I'll come
I
back to
can
you
find.
last. As we start, of course, top left, Marty B. Final words on the night. Take it away.
Yeah, just gonna wish everyone best of luck this season, and I'm looking forward to it. And it's really good to have Ron Mexico back. Ron, thank you so much for coming back and OPing tonight. And I'm really looking forward to another season of Hearthcenter with you, with all
Absolutely.
of you,
Well,
really.
thank you, Marty, and I'm glad to be back. Next up for final words, let's go to Desharmo.
I have three things. Number one, just remember it was Ron's fault I was late.
Nice.
So,
Well said.
number two, number two, I'm wondering if this season we're going to get a Lotus Night live stream camera. That's the second one. That would be really nice.
Ooh, hype.
And then third one, I'm really excited to be on the show with Ron and Lotus and Marty. It's just it was really nice for you to throw me in here, and I wanted to get back into content, and I really enjoy doing this stuff. So thank you for having me, and I'm really excited.
Absolutely. Well, happy to have you on, and we're gonna try to rotate through a few more guests as well, so we just kind of get a little bit more exposure to some other people who want to crack into content as well, or just be a little bit more involved. So you might not see this exact crew every single time. We'll have maybe a few people switching in and out here and there, but we're very excited to see what this season is going to bring. Let's move on next to Dr. Lotus Knight. Final words on the night. Go ahead, take it away.
Sure. This is going to be just an outstanding season of THL. There's just so much promise, so many strong teams. I feel like the average level is higher than usual. Very excited. Also, we won't start with Lunacy Mage. We're not having a Lunacy Mage week in THL unless Lunacy is still insane and just no one noticed it. But probably not. Probably not as good as it used to be. So get ready for this season. Um, just strap your seatbelts on and let's do this.
Absolutely. I love it. And for me, as always, thank you so much for stopping by the show. We're as excited as ever to be bringing you more fantastic THL content in the weeks to come. Stay tuned as well for our upcoming shows through the rest of the week. We have Tavern Talk on Wednesdays, as always. We've got match shows coming at you hard and fast on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We come back around to Around the Saloon on Monday, maybe this Monday. Definitely stay tuned for that because if Mako's doing that show on his birthday, it's gonna be crazy. And then, of course, that'll bring you right back around to Hearthcenter with us on Tuesdays once again. Thank you so much for stopping by, THL. We hope you have a fantastic night. I'm waving goodbye, but you can't see me this week for cameras. Cams will be back next week. And take care, everyone.
It was
Bye.